killed by Oregon State Police.
It was really a turning point in the takeover of the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge. He and others were on their way to John Day to hold a public meeting. Now, 1 year after his death, his widow going through with that meeting. Our Cole Miller sat down with her today.
Is it hard to believe it's been 1 year already?
It's very hard to believe. It has gone by very quickly.
A snowy stretch of Highway 395 between John Day and Burns. It's where LaVoy's Finicum was shot and killed after barreling past a blockade into a snowbank. The shooting deemed justified. Jeanette Finicum remembers taking a phone call that night.
Someone said that there had been an incident and that someone had been hurt. And I immediately tried to call LaVoy. Repetitively, and there was no answer.
She was at her daughter's basketball game in Arizona.
It was kind of a horrific way to hear that he had been murdered.
At the beginning of that 41-day takeover, LaVoy saying he'd die for the cause, fighting back against what he called overreach of the federal government when it comes to land rights.
I believe that my husband felt that freedom and the liberties that were being lost were of value, and that he needed to stand for them.
He had never made any mention to you that they had this intent or plan to go to the...
No, as it was proven in court. Yeah, no, that wasn't why he went up there.
Were you upset that he did that?
Was I upset? I was afraid for him. I was like any wife, wanting his husband to come home.
He never did, and now Jeanette is holding a rally here at the Grant County Fairgrounds this weekend.
We as a family have decided to move forward with this mission of educating about the principles of liberty, about private property rights, about the importance of life.
And it's a decision that seemingly has a community split. Here in John Day, a town of roughly 1,700, there are people who do not want Finicum or this rally taking place in their backyard. Within an hour of arriving here, we heard that exact sentiment. People also reaching out on social media saying there's an element of danger and a toxic nature with this coming to town. There's also the factor of fear and intimidation, so much so that no one wanted to go on camera to talk about it.
What's your message to those folks?
There's nothing to be afraid of. My family and I are not anarchists. We don't belong to a militia. My husband didn't belong to a militia. We're good Americans, patriots, good, loving people.
Do you think it sets a precedent for others to maybe, for lack of a better term, copycat what happened there?
You know, we have to find a way to have our messages heard in a peaceful way, and I think that the government overreacted.
For now, Finicum will push on with her late husband's message.
And I think people want to hear it, so as long as people want to hear it, we'll be speaking out, probably the rest of my life.
In John Day, Cole Miller, KOIN 6 News.
Now, we also tried reaching out to the Grant County Sheriff, Glenn Palmer, who's played a very controversial role in this whole thing, showing support for the takeover, as some worry about how he will treat this event in John Day.
Well, we contacted his office. We were told he has no comment. Later tonight, we'll be putting up our full interview with Jeanette Finicum up on KOIN.com. Be sure to check it out, along with a look back at the standoff 1 year ago. Well, following up on yesterday's protest in downtown